Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. Saturday. The realization hit him like a jolt of electricity, and suddenly he was wide awake, a grin spreading across his face. A groan escaped from beneath the covers as Sam stirred, his eyes fluttering open to greet the new day. Saturday. Throwing back the covers, Sam swung his legs over the side of the bed and stretched, feeling a familiar excitement bubbling up inside him. Saturdays were special. They were his days to be truly himself, to shed the weight of expectations and societal norms that clung to him like a second skin throughout the work week. He padded barefoot across the cool hardwood floor, making his way to the bathroom. As he caught sight of his reflection in the mirror, he couldn't help but smile. The man staring back at him looked ordinary enough. Tousled brown hair, the beginnings of stubble shadowing his jaw, tired eyes still heavy with sleep. But Sam knew that beneath that everyday exterior lay a secret, one that made his heart race with anticipation. Leaning closer to the mirror, he ran a hand along his cheek, feeling the rough texture of his morning beard. "Time to get rid of you," he murmured, reaching for his razor. The ritual of shaving took on new meaning on days like this. It wasn't just about maintaining a professional appearance for work, but about preparing a blank canvas for what was to come. With each careful stroke of the razor, Sam felt the excitement growing. He took his time, ensuring every last hair was gone, leaving his skin smooth and soft to the touch. Splashing cold water on his face, he patted it dry with a fluffy towel, then reached for his moisturizer. He applied it liberally, massaging it into his skin with gentle circular motions. "There," he said softly, admiring his handiwork. "Much better." Turning away from the mirror, Sam made his way back to the bedroom, a spring in his step. He approached the closet, his fingers trembling slightly as he reached for the doorknob. Taking a deep breath, he pulled it open, revealing the hidden treasures within. Pushed to the back, behind the rows of button-down shirts and slacks that made up his everyday wardrobe, hung an array of colorful dresses, skirts, and blouses. Sam ran his fingers along the soft fabrics, relishing the silky textures against his skin. Each piece held a special memory, a moment of joy and self-discovery. After careful consideration, he selected a floral sundress, perfect for the warm spring day ahead. He laid it out on the bed, then turned his attention to the dresser. From the bottom drawer, hidden beneath piles of socks and undershirts, he retrieved a lacy bra and matching panties. As he slipped into the undergarments, Sam felt a wave of calm wash over him. The stress and anxiety that had built up over the week seemed to melt away, replaced by a sense of peace and rightness. This was who he truly was, who he longed to be all the time. Stepping into the sundress, he pulled it up over his shoulders, savoring the feeling of the light fabric against his skin. He smoothed it down, admiring the way it hugged his curves in all the right places. A pair of low heels completed the outfit, adding a graceful sway to his step as he moved. Back in the bathroom, Sam opened the cabinet beneath the sink, revealing a treasure trove of makeup and beauty products. He'd spent months building up his collection, carefully researching and experimenting to find the perfect shades and formulas for his skin tone. With practiced ease, he began his transformation. Foundation to even out his complexion, concealer to hide any lingering stubble shadow. A dusting of blush brought a rosy glow to his cheeks, while eyeshadow and soft, shimmering neutrals made his eyes pop. False lashes, carefully applied, added drama and femininity to his gaze. As he worked, Sam felt himself relaxing even further. The act of applying makeup was meditative, requiring focus and precision. It allowed him to shed the last remnants of his male persona, becoming someone new, someone more confident, more vibrant, more true to himself. The final touch was lipstick, a bold red that made him feel daring and glamorous. Sam pressed his lips together, then smiled at his reflection. The person staring back at him now was a far cry from the ordinary man who had woken up that morning. In his place stood a beautiful woman, radiating confidence and joy. "Hello, gorgeous," Sam whispered, winking at his reflection. He struck a playful pose, reveling in the feeling of freedom that washed over him. Returning to the bedroom, Sam retrieved his phone from the nightstand. He'd discovered a vibrant online community of crossdressers and found immense support and encouragement there. Sharing photos of his transformations had become a regular part of his routine, a way to connect with others who understood and celebrated this part of him. He spent the next hour posing for selfies, experimenting with different angles and expressions. Each click of the camera shutter felt like an act of defiance against a world that too often tried to force people into rigid boxes of gender and identity. As he scrolled through the photos, selecting the best ones to share, Sam felt a sense of pride swelling in his chest. He'd come so far from the scared, confused teenager who had first stolen his sister's lipstick on a dare. Now he was comfortable in his own skin, both as a man and as the woman he became on days like this. Just as he was about to post his favorite photo, a loud knock on the front door shattered the peaceful atmosphere. Sam froze, his heart leaping into his throat. Who could that be? He wasn't expecting anyone, and few people ever stopped by unannounced. Another knock, more insistent this time. "Open up! This is the police!" Panic gripped Sam, his mind racing. The police? Why? Had someone seen him through the window? Had a neighbor reported suspicious activity? He felt dizzy, his carefully constructed world threatening to crumble around him. "We know you're in there! Open the door now or we'll be forced to break it down." Sam's hands shook as he tried to think of what to do. Should he change back into men's clothes? Try to wipe off his makeup? Make a run for it out the back door? Each option seemed impossible in the moment, his body frozen in fear. "You have 10 seconds to comply. 10, 9, 8. The countdown echoed in Sam's ears, each number feeling like a nail in the coffin of his secret life. He stumbled towards the door, his heels clicking loudly on the hardwood floor. Tears welled up in his eyes, threatening to ruin his carefully applied mascara. 5, 4, 3. With trembling fingers, Sam reached for the doorknob. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for what was to come. Whatever happened next, he told himself, he would face it with dignity. This was who he was, and he refused to be ashamed. 2, 1. Sam flung the door open, bracing himself for the worst. But instead of stern-faced officers, he found himself face to face with his best friend, Donnie. For a moment, they both stood frozen, staring at each other in shock. Donnie's eyes were wide as saucers, taking in Sam's appearance. The floral dress, the makeup, the wig. His mouth opened and closed several times, but no words came out. Sam, for his part, felt as though the floor had dropped out from beneath him. Of all the people to discover his secret, why did it have to be Donnie? "Damn," Sam whispered, the word barely audible. His mind raced, trying to come up with some explanation, some way to laugh this off as a joke or a misunderstanding. But he knew it was too late for that. The truth was out, laid bare in the harsh light of day. Donnie finally found his voice, though it came out as little more than a croak. "Sam, is that you?" Sam nodded slowly, unable to meet his friend's gaze. He wrapped his arms around himself, suddenly feeling exposed and vulnerable. "Yeah," he said softly. "It's me." A heavy silence fell between them, stretching out for what felt like an eternity. Sam's heart pounded in his chest, so loud he was sure Donnie must be able to hear it. He waited for the judgment, the disgust, the rejection he'd always feared would come if anyone ever discovered his secret. But when Donnie finally spoke again, his voice was gentle, filled with concern rather than condemnation. Can I come in? I think we need to talk." Sam hesitated for a moment, then stepped back, allowing Donnie to enter. He closed the door behind them, leaning against it for support as his legs threatened to give out beneath him. The adrenaline that had been coursing through his veins began to subside, leaving him feeling drained and shaky. Donnie stood awkwardly in the middle of the living room, his eyes darting around as if unsure where to look. Sam could see the questions burning in his friend's eyes, the struggle to reconcile the Sam he thought he knew with the person standing before him now. "I'm sorry," Sam blurted out, breaking the tense silence. "I never meant for anyone to find out like this. I can explain." Donnie held up a hand, shaking his head. "You don't have to apologize, Sam, and you don't owe me an explanation if you're not ready to give one." He paused, taking a deep breath. I want you to know that I'm here for you. Whatever this is, whatever it means, you're still my best friend." The words hit Sam like a punch to the gut, releasing the floodgates of emotion he'd been holding back. Tears spilled down his cheeks, cutting trails through his carefully applied makeup. He sank onto the couch, burying his face in his hands. Donnie moved to sit beside him, hesitating for a moment before placing a comforting hand on Sam's shoulder. "Hey, it's okay," he said softly. "I didn't mean to upset you. I want you to know you're safe with me." Sam looked up, his mascara smeared and running. You're not freaked out? Disgusted?" Donnie shook his head firmly. "No way. Surprised? Yeah, definitely. But disgusted, never. You're my best friend, Sam. Nothing could change that." A sob of relief escaped Sam's lips. He'd carried the weight of this secret for so long, always fearing the worst if anyone were to discover it. To have Donnie react with such acceptance and support was more than he'd ever dared to hope for. "I don't even know where to start," Sam admitted, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand. It's a part of me I've kept hidden for so long. I never thought I'd have to explain it to anyone." Donnie nodded, his expression thoughtful. "You don't have to explain anything you're not comfortable with. But if you want to talk about it, I'm here to listen. No judgment, I promise." Sam took a deep breath, steadying himself. He'd imagined this conversation 1,000 times, rehearsed explanations and defenses in his head. But now that the moment was here, he found himself at a loss for words. "I've always felt different," he began hesitantly, like there was a part of me that didn't quite fit with how the world saw me. When I dress like this, when I become her, I feel whole, complete in a way I never do otherwise. Donnie listened intently, his brow furrowed in concentration as he tried to understand. "So is it like, do you want to be a woman full-time? Or is it just something you do sometimes?" Sam shook his head. "No, I don't think I'm transgender. I'm comfortable being a man most of the time. But this is a part of me too. It's hard to explain. When I'm dressed like this, I feel like I can be a different version of myself. More confident, more expressive. It's like I get to explore a side of my personality that I have to keep hidden the rest of the time." "I think I get it," Donnie said slowly. It's a way for you to express a different part of yourself, to be free from the expectations people have of you as a man." Sam nodded, feeling a surge of gratitude for his friend's effort to understand. "Exactly. When I'm her, I don't have to worry about being tough or strong or any of those things society expects from men. I can just be—" A small smile tugged at the corners of Donnie's mouth. "Well, for what it's worth, you make a pretty beautiful woman. That dress looks great on you." The compliment caught Sam off guard, and he felt a blush creeping up his cheeks. "Thanks," he mumbled, suddenly feeling shy. I've spent a lot of time learning how to do makeup and choose outfits that flatter me." "It shows," Donnie said, his tone warm and encouraging. "So, do you have a name? When you're like this, I mean." Sam hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Samantha," he said softly. "When I'm dressed like this, I go by Samantha." Donnie grinned. "Samantha. I like it. It suits you." A comfortable silence fell between them, the initial shock and tension of the revelation giving way to a sense of newfound understanding. Sam felt as though a great weight had been lifted from his shoulders. For the first time, he didn't have to hide this part of himself from someone he cared about. "So," Donnie said after a while, What do you usually do when you're... Samantha? I mean, before I so rudely interrupted with my stupid prank. Sam couldn't help but laugh at the reminder of how this whole situation had started. God, you really had me going with that police act. I thought my heart was going to explode. Donnie had the grace to look sheepish. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I had no idea. I just thought it would be funny to surprise you. Well, you certainly succeeded in surprising me, Sam said dryly. Then, answering Donnie's original question, he shrugged. Usually I just spend the day here at home. I'll do my makeup, try on different outfits, take some pictures. Sometimes I'll watch movies or TV shows with strong female characters, trying to pick up on their mannerisms and way of speaking. Donnie nodded thoughtfully. That sounds nice, but don't you ever want to go out? Experience the world as Samantha? Sam's eyes widened at the suggestion. Go out? In public? I've never dared. What if someone recognized me? What if something happened? But isn't that part of the appeal? Donnie pressed gently. To be seen and accepted as Samantha, to interact with the world in a different way. The idea sent a thrill of excitement through Sam, mixed with a healthy dose of fear. He'd fantasized about it, of course, walking down the street in a pretty dress, going shopping for makeup, maybe even having a meal at a nice restaurant. But the reality of it had always seemed too daunting, too risky. I don't know, he said hesitantly. I'm not sure I'm brave enough for that. Donnie's eyes lit up with an idea. What if you weren't alone? What if I went with you? We could start small, maybe just a walk in the park or a quick trip to a coffee shop. I'd be there to support you, to have your back if anything went wrong. Sam felt a lump forming in his throat, overwhelmed by his friend's offer. You'd do that for me? Of course, Donnie said without hesitation. That's what friends are for, right? To support each other, to help each other grow and explore who we are. Tears welled up in Sam's eyes again, but this time they were tears of joy and gratitude. I don't know what to say, he whispered. Thank you, Donnie. Just thank you. Donnie pulled him into a hug, careful not to mess up Sam's outfit. You don't have to thank me. I'm just glad you trust me enough to share this part of yourself with me. As they pulled apart, Sam felt a newfound sense of possibility opening up before him. For so long, he'd kept Samantha hidden away, a secret joy to be indulged only in the safety of his home. But now, with Donnie's support and acceptance, he could imagine a future where both sides of himself could coexist more freely. So, Donnie said with a grin, what do you say we fix up your makeup and go get some coffee? I think Samantha deserves her first outing, don't you? Sam hesitated for just a moment, then nodded, a mixture of excitement and nervousness bubbling up inside him. Okay, he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Let's do it. As they made their way back to the bathroom to touch up Sam's makeup, a thought occurred to him. Hey, Donnie, why did you come over this morning anyway? Before you decided to pull your police prank, I mean... Donnie laughed, shaking his head. Oh, right. I almost forgot. I was going to see if you wanted to go hiking today. Guess we're in for a different kind of adventure now, huh? Sam couldn't help but smile. Yes, it was going to be a very different kind of adventure indeed. But with Donnie by his side, he felt ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. For the first time, Samantha wouldn't just be a secret identity to be hidden away. She would be a part of him that could step out into the world, supported and accepted by a true friend. As he reapplied his lipstick, Sam caught his reflection in the mirror. The person staring back at him was neither fully Sam nor fully Samantha, but a beautiful blend of both. And for the first time, he felt truly, completely whole. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.